Well, good morning and happy Mother's Day to those that apply, and welcome to Sunny Daze, the podcast that's all good vibes, great stories, and just the right amount of magic. I'm your host, Jolly, and our first story up today, well, Wrenched and Ready, a Sunny Daze graduation story. Of course, it's that time of year. I'd like you to meet Kiana, Kai Bennett, a 29-year-old who just became the first woman in her family to graduate from trade school. Now, Kai's been fixing engines since she was 10 years old, getting grease on her jeans before it was cool, and learning how to work smarter, not harder, thanks to years of side hustles in her neighborhood. She was raised in the heart of a working class neighborhood in Cleveland, and Kai didn't have the luxury of sugarcoating things. She wasn't a priority. It wasn't a priority when your mom was running a daycare out of your living room and your dad was working two jobs and your older brother was trying to dodge the law. But Kai, she had tools, big ones, and she was going to fix the world one wrench at a time. By the time she was 18, Kai was already a certified mechanic, but not in the way you'd expect. She was fixing her family's cars, working for tips from neighbors, and learning on the job more than any textbook could have taught her. But deep down, Kai knew she could do more. She could run her own shop, teach other women how to tune an engine, and get respect in a world where women were mostly confined to waiting rooms, not the grease-stained work benches she'd seen. Well, then came graduation day. Her trade school graduation wasn't the type of ceremony where everyone wears cap and gown. It's more like a weekend work event where you're covered in oil, but somehow so excited and proud. When Kai's name was called, the whole shop clapped for her. The instructor, who had been trying to teach her torque specs while simultaneously learning how to pronounce her name correctly, gave her a nod. The other graduates, most of them guys who had never thought twice about her, gave her a really respectful, wow, you did it. You did it. Kai wasn't worried about validation, though. She already knew she was a boss. She strutted across the stage, which was a repurposed loading dock, accepting her diploma with one hand and wiping grease off her cheek with the other. Her family was there in full force. Her mom, wearing a "My daughter fixes cars" shirt. Her little brother, who had just turned 13, loudly proclaimed, "She's going to own a shop one day. I bet you." "Y'all didn't know my sister was going to be the queen of engines, huh?" he shouted, earning a chorus of laughs from the whole section. I just smirked. He's not wrong. And stay tuned. We'd like to do a follow up on Kai. Maybe her first day on her first job. Okay. How about some did you know facts about what else? Of course, trade school. Did you know that trade school grads can enter the workforce up to 2 years faster than traditional college grads, and often with a lot less debt? And did you know that skilled trades are in super high demand? Many trade school land jobs within 6 months of graduation. So, so imagine graduating within 6 months, having the ability to have that job. And did you also know some trade careers like elevator mechanics or radiation therapist can earn over $80,000 a year without a 4-year degree? Interesting facts. And speaking of the monetary values, did you know that the average cost of a trade school program is around $33,000 total, while a 4-year college can rack up to 100,000 and more? And did you know trade school grads keep the world literally running? Keep them tuning, keep them turning, keep them going, from electricians to mechanics to HVAC techs. They power our homes, fix our cars, and cool our summers. Another great fact, did you know? Trade school grads often report higher job satisfaction. They get to work with their hands, solve real problems, and see the impact of their work every day. And a lot of trade school grads, that's their fun. Kai was a great example of that, wasn't she? She'd been doing what she'd been doing her whole life, and look, can't wait to see where her first job lands her. Okay, and now in lieu of our music and our movie updates again, I'd like to give just a giant Sunny Day shout out to the brilliant trade school graduates of 2025. I'd like to say that your graduation is more than a celebration of completed coursework or past certificates. This is the time for you to celebrate your mastery of skill, of passion, and of purpose. As I was thinking about what can I possibly say to honor what you've accomplished, a song, and as always, my favorite comes to mind, "To Soar with Love," and one of those classics always echoes and has a meaning. How do you thank someone who is taking you from crayons to perfume? Well, in this case, your journey wasn't about crayons and perfumes. It was more like spark plugs to blueprints or wrenches to welding masks. But the sentiment still holds. You arrived with curiosity and you leave with craftsmanship. You came with dreams and now you leave equipped to build them. Literally, you guys, ladies, peoples. Some of you studied to be electricians, others mechanics, welders, dental assistants, coders, chefs, and beyond. You learned how to bring light to homes, motion to machines, and care to others. And through it all, you kept showing up. I'm sure there were rainy days, long nights, and through the challenges and the setbacks, and maybe even burnt finger and broken tool or two, you did it. You know the part where it says, "A friend who taught me right from wrong and weak from strong," in that song? Where you learned more than technical skills. You learned discipline, teamwork, grit, and perhaps most importantly, pride. Pride in knowing that what you do matters, that your work isn't just a job, it's a contribution. Trade careers don't always get the spotlight, right? But let me tell you, without the hands and hearts of tradespeople, this world simply wouldn't turn. And now you, dear graduates, are the gears in that great engine. So as you step into the workforce, into garages, hospitals, onto job sites, in studios, remember this. You have built something no one can take from you, a skill set that empowers, a mindset that builds, and a legacy that lasts. 100 books or more. What can I give you in return? The truth is, we can't give you enough to match what you've already earned, but we can give you our deepest respect, our loudest shout out, and our best way to go smile ever for the future you're about to create. So as you move forward with courage, work with dignity, and build with love. Congratulations, class of 2025 trade graduates. Now go show the world what excellence really looks like in steel-toed boots, calloused hands, and scrubs. All right, now, how about a Sunny Daze story? We're really inspired by the legacy of Rosie the Riveter, so we're gonna do Rosie's Wrench. When Rosie Elena Ramirez stepped on the stage in her navy blue coveralls and steel-toed boots, the crowd stood to their feet like jets on afterburner. Top of her class, aircraft mechanic of the U.S. military, one of only 3 women in her program, and the first to graduate with a perfect GPA and a custom wrench engraved with her name. The wrench? Oh, that was a tradition. It had been passed down for 3 generations. Her great-grandmother, Rosalinda, had worked in a wartime factory in California during World War II. They called her the Quick Fix Queen because she could diagnose the jam assembly line faster than a foreman. Her hands never stopped moving. Grease under her nails, strength in every twist. Her daughter, Rosie, Abuela Maria, kept the spirit alive. She opened a small engine shop in Texas and raised 4 children between spark plugs and socket wrenches. She used to say, "Mija, if it's broke, you fix it. Never wait for someone to rescue you when you've got two hands and a good mind. Rosie's mother, Carolina, took it a step further. She became the first woman in their town to run an auto shop. Customers drove hours just to get a tune-up from the queen of the carburetor. Rosie remembered sitting on a stool, swinging her feet as Mom taught her to rebuild an engine block before she could even spell engine block. And now, here she was, the fourth Rosie, standing tall at the edge of history and the launch pad of the future. The wrench she held, initials carved in it, RAR, Rosalinda, Maria, Carolina, and now her. I was raised by women who fixed what was broken. Engines, expectations, sometimes even hearts. Rosie said this in her graduation speech. Her voice was steady over the hangar's loudspeakers. I am because they were. I am ready to keep the line running. As the applause echoed and her proud family wiped their eyes in the front row, Rosie didn't feel like the end of a legacy. She felt the ignition of something brand new. And that's our Jolly Chat story for this week. All right, everybody, beautiful people everywhere. That's a wrap on Sunny Days today. Remember that kindness is contagious, that joy is a choice, and a little bit of magic is hiding in the everyday if you're just willing to look for it. Keep shining, keep smiling, and until next time, stay sunny, stay golden, and most importantly, stay you.